Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for coming back yet again. If you are new here, thank you for coming to my channel, and make sure you like my videos and subscribe to my channel. So yeah, anyways, today we are going to be filming a story time. And for those of you who don't know what story time is, it is when I tell you a story. I have two, possibly three stories for you. We'll just see how it goes with the two first. So yeah, let's get started. Okay guys, so for the first story I have for you guys is about how I almost got kidnapped when I was in first grade. I lived in Wisconsin in a small town, like small enough that our police station, our one police station we had, was literally a tiny building. So in this small town, all of us kids just walked to school no matter what age we were, because it was a small town and no one really worried. So they even had like a certain way they wanted us to walk. It was like the safe way to walk to school. So one day I was at school and school got out and it was time to go home. Well, must have just been in a hurry to get home. I just wanted to be home. So I wanted to go the way that was shorter, but it was not a way they recommended, because there was a major street that you had to cross, and they considered dangerous, which I can see that. So I went anyway. So I'm walking home, and literally I'm at the light, and I have to cross this major street, and on the other side is my apartment buildings that we lived in. And it was an indoor apartment building, because in Wisconsin, at least in the city I lived in, I don't know, I'm pretty sure it snows everywhere in Wisconsin, but it snowed a lot. So most apartment buildings were indoor apartment buildings. But anyway, so the light says I can walk, so I start walking across the street, and someone gets out of their car, and it was a lady, and stands on like the side of her car and says, "Hey, little girl, come here." And I freak out, like completely freak out, guys. I froze for a minute in the middle of the road, and I turned around and I ran. I ran all the way back to school. Like the whole way I ran, I was crying, I was freaking out, I was scared. I like just almost got kidnapped. Like someone just tried to get me to come to their car. So when I get back to the school, I run up to the crossing guard, and I'm crying. I'm telling her that someone tried to get me to come to their car at the crosswalk, and obviously I'm scared and I'm freaking out. So she panics, and she has me stay with her until she's done, and then we go to the principal's office and we tell them what had happened. But they don't call my mom, okay? So, like I said, this was a small town. Apparently they do things different in small towns. And instead of calling my mom, they call the police department. And my teacher, or one of the teachers at the school, I don't honestly remember if it was my teacher or just one of the random teachers, brought me to the police department. And so I laugh at this because I remember this so clearly. The police department, the police had me sit at the front door of their building, which like was against a major road, and had me watch for the car that tried to stop me and try to get me to come in their car. That's how small this town was. Like literally, that's what they did while they were doing whatever else they were doing. I honestly don't know what else they were doing, but I was there for about an hour, and my mom finally showed up. The police had contacted my mom and told them why I was there, what had happened, and everything. So my mom comes and gets me from the police department and brings me home. And at this point, my mom's just panicked and freaked out. Her daughter almost got kidnapped. And it was crazy. So we're home for a couple hours when all of a sudden the police show up at our house, or our apartment, and tell us, they said something to my mom. I don't know what they said to her, but all I know is we had to go with them somewhere. So we get in the police car and we drive to what was like a baseball field, but like where like kids practice and play and stuff like that. And we get out and we walk up to the game, and I'm really confused, like, what are we doing here? Like, why did the police bring us here? And this lady that tried to kidnap me came up to us, and I like freaked out, and I was like, oh my god, Mom, that's her. And the police is like, hi, we'd like you to meet Mrs. whatever her name was. I don't even know what her name was. I can't remember to this day what her name was. She is the one who tried to have you come to her car at the crosswalk. And I was like, I know, it's her. And guys, she was a teacher at the school trying to tell me to come to her car so that she can bring me home because I was going home the dangerous way and it wasn't okay. And so yeah, I never was being kidnapped. It was a huge misunderstanding, but kudos to me for doing the right thing and running away and not getting in her car. That's what the police officer said. And he gave me a badge and a hat, and I was like, I am so cool. Anyway, I was 6, so hey. So yeah, that is a story about how I almost got kidnapped, but not really. All right, I hope you enjoyed that story. On to story number 2. All right, guys, story number 2 is about how I became claustrophobic. My mom has always had, or had always had, this like wooden chest at the end of her bed that she kept random things in. But at this time she had just gotten it, so the chest was empty. Anyways, so me and my siblings, I have 4 sisters and a brother, and me and my 4 sisters are playing hide and go seek, and I am a lot younger than them, so I was just hated playing hide and go seek with them because they were always really good and always found me, and it sucked because I could never find them, but they always found me. But this day I had a great idea. I was like, yes, I know exactly what I'm gonna do, where I'm gonna hide, and they will never find me. So yeah, I was going to hide, and I climbed into the chest at the end of my mom's bed. Now the chest opened up and closed, and then it had this like metal latch thing that went down and like locked on this loop thing, and you could put a lock in it, but my mom didn't have a lock on it. But once the latch was down, the door couldn't open unless the latch was moved up. So I got in the chest and I closed the lid without even thinking. Like, I didn't even know that would lock or anything. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, they'll never find me. Yes, I have the best hiding spot. Yes. Well, it took a while, and I started to be like, I can't really breathe very well. So I wanted to open the thing just a little bit to see if anybody was out there. I couldn't open it. It had locked. The latch had closed and it had locked, and I started panicking. Like, instantly, it was like a rush of, I can't breathe. Oh my God, I need to get out of here. And so I was just this little girl. I brought my feet up to like the roof, and I was kicking and kicking and kicking and kicking like crazy, like just insane. Like, when you're in that kind of situation, you just go freaking psycho because you're just like, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here now. So I got the latch. I was kicking so much the latch had like vibrated and it had gone up, so one of the kicks like brought the door up, and I like sat up and I screamed as loud as I can. My mom and my sisters came running. I was like, what's wrong? And I was like crying, and I was like, I was locked in the chest locked, and I was like so scared. My mom's like, what were you doing in there? And I was like, I was hiding. It was a good hiding spot. No one found me. And it was so scary, guys. I still have anxiety talking about it because I remember that anxiety that I got being in that chest. But yeah, that's the story about how I became claustrophobic. Yeah, crazy. But I'll go ahead and tell you story number 3. I almost died. Story number 3 is about how I almost died. Me and 3 of my really good friends almost died. Okay, so yeah, here we go. Our church does an annual yearly, they call it Chick Fest. It's a time when a bunch of girls from the church go on vacation for 1 to 2 nights, stay in a hotel, and just have a ton of fun. And it really is a ton of fun. So we had done the whole weekend. It was time to go home, and so me and the girls I was riding with was my friend Andrea, my friend Shauna, and my friend Nicole. And like, seriously, I am getting anxiety talking about it because it was scary. We were driving home and we had to go like through these mountain roads, and so at this time there was two mountains beside us, one on this side and one on this side, and the one on our left side was more of a steep kind of straight up mountain. The one on our right side was more of a slanted kind of like this mountain, you know. And so we're driving and everything's good, and like literally I was falling asleep in the car. My friend Andrew was falling asleep, my friend Shauna was falling asleep, and our friend Nicole was the one driving the car. She's our hero, like seriously. So we're going, and I remember like falling asleep, and I open my eyes just for like a second, and I see the car in front of us just randomly go whoop to the right and then whoop to the left. Or sorry, it went this way to the left and then it went swerved like crazy to the right. Like it just went and then went boom. Like the guy or whoever was driving caught that they were swerving off the road and tried to catch it, but just went whew. And the car, okay, this is the part that really got us. At this point, when we see the car go to the right, everyone in the car is screaming except for the driver. The car went up the mountain, like it went whoop, right up the mountain, or the hillside. I really don't know what they call it, and just started rolling, and pieces of the car were flying everywhere, and we were in the middle of it. Pieces of the car were flying at our car. We literally had the what's it called? The bumper, the front bumper of their car hit our car. And now mind you, the road that we were on is just a 2-lane road, so it's a very small road. So as this is happening, we are right next to it, and this car is literally like just like flipping and flipping and flipping along the side, and then it lands upside down. Or no, hold on, sorry, it was flipping on the hill or the mountain or whatever, and it was like right side up, but then it just went boom onto the road, hit upside down onto the road. We had managed, the person who was driving the car, she was amazing. She managed to swerve out of everything, so nothing huge hit our car. We did have the bumper hit her car. It was actually hit my door where I was, but thankfully it just like scratched it. It didn't really hurt us, obviously. We had pulled over. People were like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And we're like, "They're not okay." So we're panicking, we're freaking out. I'm calling my husband, and like, we almost were in a car accident. And like a lot of us didn't run up to the car, for one, because there was a lot of people had gone up to the car, and the last thing that you need in that situation is for everybody to come into the car, because if it explodes, we're all dead. But there was a ton of people helping those people out. We're kind of in shock about what just happened. We're kind of freaked out, making phone calls, calling 911 and everything. I called my husband. Yeah, we were literally inches away from being hit by that car. When it went head down onto the road, the front of the car, I think it was, well, upside down front car, was hand reachable from my window. Like I can stick my hand out and touch the car, until we had pulled over. But at that moment I could. The people in the car did not make it, sadly. I remember watching the news later and finding out that what looked like had happened was the person driving was falling asleep and swerved and then realized it and tried to catch themselves and just turned too fast and sadly ended their lives. It was really scary. Probably one of the scariest things I have ever been through. But we all made it out, and now we are like best friends. We have this crazy story to tell. And I know one day it'll be easier to tell and I won't have anxiety. But yeah, that is my third story about how me and my friends almost died. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that story. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed my story time. I hope it wasn't too boring, but I hope it was funny, and I hope it was crazy, and it's a little bit of everything. Anyways, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe and like my videos. And yeah, I look forward to doing many other videos for you. Love you.